So this is probably the first of several videos I will do in the efforts to string together some ideas of what I feel exactly about marriage. Not just marriage, but also love. I got married on September 16th. Yeah, September 16th. I actually have a marriage certificate like right there. The day itself where we went to the courthouse to sign everything before like the actual like day, wedding day, was probably one of the shittiest days of my life. I don't know, something about it was just so unfathomably uncomfortable. When we got back, I went to my room and didn't come out. I just stayed in my room and went to sleep. Just not about that life. Let me backtrack. So I got married because my mother-in-law was sick. She had liver cancer and she ended up dying very soon after being diagnosed. We found out in August 12th, I want to say. She went to the hospital for the first time. And these days the dates are easier for me to remember or recall because I had to keep up with them. So August 12th, she went to the hospital. On the 17th, we found out that she had cancer. We didn't tell her for a while, and not a while, it was like a week, until we were absolutely sure that that is exactly what it was, because they do the CAT scan, the MRI, they'll look at it and see it and know like this is probably cancer, but they also do a test of, I can't remember, the tumor markers, and we're waiting for the tumor marker test results to come back, and it was in fact cancer. And they counted all the tumors. It was like over 100. They stopped counting at 100. So yeah, it was very far progressed, and it was readily apparent that she did not have long to live. From the oncologist, we were told that she had maybe 6 months, no longer than a year. At this time, I actually have a video about it. I had, in my mind, kind of switched gears and gone into what I coined self-preservation mode. And it was the product of just tremendous amounts of stress along with being ill. And being here makes me ill. There's something about this house that is not safe. It's the stress, and the critters, the vermin that live here, that make it almost like living in a haunted house. Like that was like what I said that it felt like. It feels like I'm living in a place that is eating me from the inside out. And right now, it's still very similar to how it was before I left for the hurricane relief. But at that time, everything was like kind of hitting a fever pitch. Because Diglit's grandmother had died, and we had to go up to Arkansas, and that was a whole thing, and there was a whole bunch of drama with his family, and there was just more stress from my family. There was things going on with them, and so it just became more and more difficult to be invested in other people's lives because I could not even get myself straight and together. And so I decided it's time to just focus on myself. It is time to get out of this fucking house. It is time to live my life and kind of recoup in a way that I can then switch gears back to caring about investing in being a part of other people's lives in a constructive way. That's where I was at that point in August. I was about to give up on everybody in my life, for reals. Hurricane Irma happened, and my dad went out to do the hurricane relief, and I decided that's also what I was going to do because I needed to get out. I needed to leave. I needed somewhere to just be by myself, and doing the hurricane relief was definitely a good option for me. I mean, just outside of just moving out entirely just by myself, which was something that I was also considering at the time. Doing the hurricane relief was, I mean, I knew I was going to be, it was going to be at least a couple months. And I tell Diglit that, he's disappointed. He kind of feels like I'm abandoning him. But also, his mom was at this point where she was definitely sick, but she could talk, she could walk, it wasn't so far progressed that, you know, we thought, you know, she'd be gone by the end of next month. But there were some issues, a few falls, and I just generally think that the caregiving wasn't entirely up to par because they're not professionals, and she didn't get hospice until like maybe a week before she died. So I think that would have prolonged her life, but it also would have prolonged her suffering. But yeah, I decided to go to do the hurricane relief, and I left, and I mean, you know the deal. I came back, stayed here for a little bit, left. But before I left, we got married. And Diglett was adamant that he wanted to get married before I left because he wasn't sure that his mom would be still around when I got back. She died October 17th, so it was definitely a good idea to go ahead and get married. And, you know, I'm not super keen on it, but it was for his mom. It wasn't really for me, even though, you know, marriages, weddings, that's kind of the purpose. I don't know. People always say, like, it's going to be the happiest day of your life, and it's not. The event itself was like any other family event, only I got a lot of questions from people. I went out and bought all the stuff. I kind of planned it, but my family was the one that set everything up. So I got a lot of questions about how does it feel to be married? Has it hit you yet? How does it feel to be a missus? Because I'm not out to my family. And it feels like nothing. But there are certain expectations. There's a certain way that people treat you. And a certain way that your spouse treats you once you're married that, to me, I find repugnant. I don't like it. One part of it that just irks me to no avail is the oneness. That you are one flesh, you are one being, you are one mind, and that is so goddamn uncomfortable. That I don't like the amount of commitment that is entailed in letting someone borrow your charger. So something as complete, something as like just utterly just, I don't know, it's just, I don't like the idea of being tied to one individual, like even romantically, like sexually speaking. I don't necessarily consider myself poly, but I don't like the idea of just one person, but also I don't like the idea of the oneness. Ugh, I don't want to be one with anyone. Or anyone's. It's just a very, very, very uncomfortable feeling. It almost feels like I'm covered in a sticky film at all times and you can't rub it off. There's no way to get it off. Ugh, ugh. And I think part of it is love, because love is weird to me. I'm fairly certain, not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure that romantic love is not something that I am capable of experiencing. I do experience romantic attraction. I was romantically attracted to my now husband when I met him, but the romantic feelings aren't there anymore. But I mean, I do love him. I do care about him, but it's almost like a family member, or not even a family member, but like your best fucking friend, I guess. I don't know. And I've tried to hint at it. I've tried to say it without saying it, because I entered this relationship with kind of the mutual understanding that there is love, romantic love here, and it's just not. I just don't get feeling loved, being loved, loving someone. And I know what it feels like when someone likes you. And I'm not sure how different that is from when someone loves you. Like how they treat you. Is it in the actions themselves, or in how those actions are enacted, or the person? I don't know, but it doesn't feel like anything. I don't get it. Yeah, being married isn't the most pleasant arrangement for Finn. And it's very hard for me to articulate it. And I think this is a good step forward. This is a good, like, first preliminary setting out the table. Like, these are the things that are here. Like, it makes me feel old. That's one thing. It's, like, super fucking heteronormative. Like, ugh, gross. And then just the grossness of it that I can't really put my finger on, that I don't like, in the oneness. The oneness is also very much there. But yeah, I'll try to expound upon these things, maybe in a more organized manner later on. But yeah, I gotta do some thinking on it. Yeah. GTFN.